So this is a beginner's guide to the 136 fire testing station. To make this more useful for people who are starting out at low levels, I've deliberately restricted myself because I've got a high level character. So I'm using only Duralinium tier equipment. I've got Mercenary Scout, and there's a reason for using Scout equipment. It's because it gives you better dash stamina reductions. Even though the armor's not so heavy, it's going to make you more survivable because you can get out of danger. I've got an Adept Sword, Adept GRDA 44, it's Adept Shotgun. And I've also got the Adept level Spit Dart and Rapier. Improvised Cutter and only Mark II heal kits in my inventory. Lots of light darts and a couple of thousand heavy darts as well. I'm using a Mark V shield, full suspensor belt, and a Mark V power pack. So a lot of my runs are actually at very high level, so I'm just going to do this one to sort of give a walkthrough for people who are struggling or are starting out, show how I suggest you go through this testing station. So first of all, there is some water here if you need it. And it's a good idea to remain hydrated all the time in this station. You want to stay hydrated to maximize your stamina, because you should have the swordsman skill that gives you better stamina. I'll just show you my skill setup. My skill setup is going to be a bit advanced, that's the only problem, but basically in Swordmaster you want the maximum stamina conditioning, and you also want optimized hydration, because that gives you a bonus when you're hydrated. Knee charge, you see I've only got level 1, that's because I use it to move around, I don't use it to attack. So a difference with starting to work on these overland stations is that the enemies are largely immune to the sort of damage you do with things like knee charge. And the same is true with Eye of the Storm. I don't use that either because it doesn't do enough damage. Instead, focus on improving your base damage of your weapons with your skills. And the Bene Gesserit skills that are most critical are going to be Weirding Step and Compel. So for melee, I use Knee Charge just to move me around. I use Weirding Step. Do not use Sugar Wire Claw in the testing station. There's a good reason for not using Sugar Wire Claw, and that's because it drops your shield when you use it. So for someone's shooting at you, it can kill you. And Compel to stop the boss or to take control of melee players. Techniques, I run as standard Center of Mass, the added damage. Discipline Breathing to maintain my stamina recovery, and Manipulate Instability to do more damage to the enemies when you have knocked them back. Okay, so let's start with the first lock-in room here. This has got 3 enemies when you're playing it solo. You can see one of them on the far side there. So I'm going to start this by Weirding Step to the heavy gunner. And then I should be able to make... Yes, so I managed to kill him with a single hit, so that's good. Pick up some healing. Now there's also a drill shot, and there's a melee guy, as you can see. You've got to be very careful with the drill shots because they can kill you very easily. So I'm going to go over here and take out the shooter guy first when he comes up the door. That gets rid of that danger. And then a Weirding Step to the heavy gunner. And now I've got to deal with this guy. Parry, and he's down. Now go over to the store again and repeat. Back for the heavy gunner. And they nearly always do that sweeping attack, which you can parry. Now that's got me through to the next door. I can go out here now, but there are some useful things in here. There are some more heal kits here. And when you open this door, this is where the main big loot chest is at this stage of the dungeon. There are a couple of these in the dungeon, but this is the first one you'll get to, the large loot chest. There are some small loot chests which give you some useful things. Because when you're starting out here, you're probably still collecting a lot of the things you find in these loot chests. And this one will have schematic patterns, and this is what you want. If you're just starting out in here, you want to pick up some Choam armour. I'm not going to put those on right now, partly because they're heavy. It gives you a lot more armour protection if you wear the Choam armour and use the Regis weapons you find in these loot boxes. But I'm going to assume that when you're doing it, you aren't that lucky and you haven't found anything like that. So I'm going to stick with wearing my mercenary scout armour and using my adept weapons as I go forward. Now there's lots of ammunition you can pick up. You can never really run out of ammunition in one of these places. Well, it is possible, but not if you turn up with some. This sets off the explosives down below, which I do. I'm not sure if it's important or not. It might help. It certainly stops you being blown up by them if you go down there and they get set off by the enemy shooting. More darts, more heal kits. So you can see I've got slots 7 and 8 loaded with heal kits. Those are both Mark II heal kits. You'll pick up some higher Mark heal kits as you go through. I'm trying to restrict myself to stuff that you're going to have when you start. So this will probably cause an explosion. I know, I just missed the barrel. And again, I'm going to go for the shooter first, who comes out of this door. There'll be 2 rounds like this. Always go for the shooter first. And there should be a swordsman who'll come and try and get me now. Here he is. Oh, he's used the attack I can't parry. So if they use the attack you can't parry, that's an overhead one. Just do a heavy attack on them, step back, and then do a heavy attack. And you'll then be able to stagger them and take them out. So where is he this time? Let's wait for that one. There they are. This time they've done the sweeping attack that I can parry. Now the third set will come out of here. There'll be a swordsman comes out of here. You do a heavy attack to stagger them. And there'll be a shooter up there. Now you can run straight at them, but I'm going to avoid that because you want to be a bit careful. That person has got a drill shot, and it's quite easy for them to kill you if they get the drill shots on you. So run around the corner to go out of line of sight. And now you'll get the swordsman will appear here.
Shield on.
Wind up and do a heavy attack to stagger them, finish them off. Weirding step behind the heavy gunner. Is there any more heal kits here? Now run round behind shooter guy. Here he is trying to throw a grenade. Seeker. Now he's dead. Okay. And you're now through the second lock-in to get to the boss fight. There is another cut array door here. You'll see I use an improvised cut array in these places. That's because it's made from scrap. It doesn't matter if you lose it, if you get killed and it gets damaged, it's immaterial. And it will cut through a door just as fast as anything else. And it will also, you can also move with it at full speed. It uses very little power, so it doesn't, your shield comes back up very rapidly if you've been using it. There's basically no reason not to use one. There's no point bringing a big heavy cut array into the dungeon. This is the lightest thing you can carry. You can also make it in here if you want one. So, maintain my water full as much as possible. Keep hydrated. Now you can scavenge all these bodies. They will have more useful things on them. I've got a high gathering skill, so I pick up extra bits and pieces from them if I do this. But you can get a lot of material in one of these dungeons. So now I'm in the antechamber to the boss room. Even more ammunition. Even more heal kits. I've probably got some Mark 6 now. More ammunition. And then there's a loot box here. Now I normally pick these loot boxes up after the boss fight. If however you're lucky like this and find some Choam scout pants or scout armor at this stage, you should pick it up and put it on, because it'll be better than what you're wearing. That's if you haven't got any unique armor already by the time you get here. Okay. So now, for the boss fight, I'm going to switch to shotgun. And skills-wise, the best combination for this, now this does depend on you having the full trooper layout, is energy capsule, attractor field, and compel. Techniques, I'm going to have death from above instead of the stamina recovery. There's a good reason for this. Center of mass still does the most damage, instability for when you stagger the boss with a shotgun if you manage to, and also for when you're killing adds with a sword. And death from above gives you 20% damage while you're in the air. Now this fight you will need to be in the air as much as possible because the boss fires napalm bombs that have splash damage at the ground level and against walls. Energy capsule and attractor field have a perfect synergy with your shotgun for killing the boss. Compel you use to stop the boss so you can kill the adds when the adds arrive. You can also use it to take a break if you need to heal by stopping the boss. Because the boss will be throwing missiles at some point in here, so you've got to be a little bit cautious But if we take our time over this and we're careful with it, it's not that dangerous. You see I'm a little bit damaged, so I'm going to heal a little bit here. That's before I go in. And I'm going to start by compelling the boss, taking an energy pill, putting the attractor field on the boss, and then shooting them. See how far I can get them down. So they're compelled, I bring them to the middle of the arena, it's the safest place to have them. And you see I brought them down one level already with just an adept shotgun. Now I don't want to bring them down 2 levels immediately. I don't really want them in the air, so I'm going to try and stagger them by shooting them. That is not working, so I'm going to have to basically wait. I'm going to start running to avoid being hit by the balls they send, and I'm going to compel them. So where's the enemy? There's the first enemy. Carry them. Kill them. Right. Now, avoid the boss. Take an energy pill. Alright, now I've brought them down on the level. At this point though, they can start to throw missiles at me. Again, I've got to be careful because they can call an ad. If I bring them down up another level, actually it doesn't really matter, I can bring them up another level, take them down another level now, because there won't be any more ads, just this last one. Now I managed to compel them before they threw the missile at me. This is very important. If you can do that, it reduces the risk to you enormously in this room. Now I can take down another level. Take my energy pill. Hit them with the attractor field. And shoot them, and I managed to kill them before they even threw a missile at me. Okay, so that is basically the optimum technique. I'm not saying you'll be able to do that immediately, but that is the optimum technique for doing this testing station at level 1. And you'll see I'm just using Adept Sword, Adept Shotgun, and Scout Armour, Mark 5 Power Pack, Mark 5 Shield, and Full Suspensor Belt. And you see how much stuff I've picked up in here already. It's actually, at this level, you'll get good gear which you can use to improve your abilities very rapidly. Because any weapons you pick up in these stations will be Regis level, which is much better than what I'm using. So I'll pick up the chests on the way out. I've been to all the locations. If you're doing the Grave of the Fireflies combat mission, then you will have completed it by killing the boss. It's the simplest one to complete at any of these testing stations. I will pick this up. Then there's the exit band, the chest, which usually has rubbish in it, but that's not bad. Now this is great for you, because if you picked up a perforator at this point, that is massively better than your shotgun you've got on you. 538 damage. If you look at the shotgun I'm using, 257. It's twice as bad. So if you've got the plastanium level, you've got some plastanium, you've got some spice, and you can make that perforator and boost your capabilities massively. Bulwark helmet is heavy armor. I would not recommend it for these dungeons, and the flamethrower is completely useless. You've also got some basic augments. So we take all that, we take all this, come out of here, and there's another little loot chest in here, more useful materials, and we are done. So it's just a matter of running out of the station and being very glad you've done it. Now, I would not expect you to do it that quickly. I've done this a lot. But that, I hope, has given you an idea. And if you've got any questions or any thoughts, then please put something in the comments for me, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.